Tonight, is there a satanic connection between John Legend and HRC? Plus, will secret emails between President Obama and HRC be their downfall? Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. For those of you who don't know, I start off each one of these episodes by saying thank you to each and every one of my subscribers, because without you guys, this channel would not be possible. And if you have not hit that subscribe button, please come here to this landing page, click the big red subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, you'll be notified, because as soon as information is made available to me, I make it available to you. Now, jumping right into the latest Q post, we have a lot to cover, and Q exposes some really crazy stuff, so stick around for the rest of the video so that you'll see exactly what we're talking about here. But crazy things we're going to talk about. First post, though, from Q. And this is where we left off. As always, if you guys are interested in finding out what's going on, please come here and watch the last video if you want to get caught up to where we are now. Watch the last couple videos if you want to get caught up to where we have been going in the last few days. Certainly go do that if you want to get caught up. Now, this is the latest post. Interesting theory. This is Q speaking. It's nice when you can work in peace. And it gives an article, a link to an article. Hashtag release the texts, no redactions, Q. Now, the text they're talking about are obviously the purported text messages that exist between Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, and others at the FBI regarding things that Q has alluded to in previous posts related to possible texts originating from an FBI agent and between several internals that discuss the possibility of an assassination plot against the President of the United States and or his family. So that's Q's words. I'm just merely telling you what he said. That's what's being alleged is on these texts or in these texts. I don't believe it's necessarily in these texts, but we'll have to see. Now, this actually is a great article. I really encourage you all to go read it. If you want to find it, just go to Big League Politics and search this article title. Here's why Jeff Sessions might be playing 4D chess. I'm sure it will pop up. It's by Larry Schweikert. And fascinating read, though. Besides a couple very minor grammatical errors, I'd say this is a stellar piece, phenomenally written, and very well thought out. But what it details, for those of you who aren't going to come here and read it in its entirety, is the mastery of Jeff Sessions behind the scenes orchestrating the construction of multiple parallel investigations that would cover things ranging from the text messages and misconduct in the FBI and Department of Justice, all the way to the Clinton email scandal and Uranium One scandal, using people like John Huber and the Inspector General Michael Horowitz and others in order to work on his behalf to manufacture a multi-pronged investigation into what is actually going on. And it's so, I mean, if you're going to sit and read through the article, you're going to read about things regarding the pay for play with the Clinton Foundation and how there's been an investigation going on for months about that. How grand juries have been brought together to decide whether to bring criminal indictments. They're going to talk about things like how Rod Rosenstein seems to have helped facilitate this process while at the same time trying to hinder it, because I'm sure he's torn being a part of the deep state cronyism, but then also having his responsibility to his constitutional oath that he takes to execute his office. So, and it talks about how Sessions recused himself and how he's strategically placed himself outside of the limelight, if you will, and that the whole purpose of his recusal and this adversarial relationship between Trump and Sessions stems from the fact that they understand that removing Sessions from the limelight is important to allow him to get his work done. I mean, as you can read here, Q says, It's nice when you can work in peace, meaning it may have been better for them to have a quiet time, if you will, an ability to work outside of the magnifying glass of the mainstream media. And it also leads me to believe that what Trump is doing is even more heroic because he's throwing himself in front of the fire or in front of the shots. He's taking the flak for us, for the Department of Justice, so that justice can be served. Even as early as yesterday, I was playing you guys clips, if you guys want to go back and watch the last video, where President Trump is explaining the fact that he doesn't want to interfere in the Department of Justice's investigation. That should not be within the presidential purview ever. These have to be separate branches. There has to be a separation of power in government. If you try to merge it, then what will happen? And a lot of people get really frustrated in the comments. I read these comments where people will say stuff to the effect of, hey, why doesn't POTUS just go in, clean out the department, fire everyone, do his thing? Well, short answer is we have to depend on our judicial system, not just for these political crimes that we're investigating right now, but for every crime in America. So it's a cornerstone to our structure in this democracy, in this republic. So what happens if we just go in there and blow up the Department of Justice? Well, then I can tell you for sure there's going to be a lot of very, very negative outcomes for most people involved. And the people who get hurt is the American people. And I think that's what Sessions, that's what has saw, and that's what Trump saw. And that's why he decided to allow Jeff Sessions' recusal. I think that it's kind of a theater thing that they play now where they, every now and then when people start thinking that Jeff Sessions is on Trump's side, Trump will come out and say something negative about Jeff Sessions in order to relight the mainstream media fire against him. If that makes sense, to take the flack away from the Justice Department so they can work. Because putting together these cases, ladies and gentlemen, I have a little experience in law, not a lawyer, but I can tell you from my little experience with it that there is certainly something to be said for having time to put together a case. You have to put together a strong case because, and especially if the people you're trying to convict who are guilty, allegedly, have access to money and lawyers and power, and they can pay to get off the hook. So you have to have ironclad cases, which means you have to have focus, which means you have to have evidentiary collection that's impeccable. You have to have every T crossed and I dotted, and it's just an incredible time. So that's what this whole article talks about. If you guys want to go read it, I suggest you go find it for yourself. You will enjoy it. It's a good read. But jumping back into Q. So Q tells us, hey, this is an interesting theory. It's something to think about. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Now, the next one, we're getting into some disturbing stuff. As usual with Q, we have to bring light where there is darkness, and darkness and evil go together. And apparently, John Legend is being singled out here, particularly by an AN0N, but then Q wants to chime in on it. So the AN0N posts here these pictures. As you guys can see, it's of John Legend and this Christy Teigen and their kid, right? Okay, that's fine. The AN0N says, just going to post pictures of a moon child to piss off the shills because we know. And then it's quoting a John Legend tweet where he says, our new love is here, Luna Simone Stevens, born on Thursday the 14th, couldn't be happier. Q responds, how many pictures can you find of John Legend and Hillary Clinton regarding Haiti? Marching into Darkness lyrics, follow the stars, it's everywhere, Q. Now, I don't follow John Legend too closely. I know he's had like one or two songs that I may have heard on the radio at one point in my life. but not anymore because I listen to predominantly Christian radio, which is by far the best. If you guys don't know, go out there and find your local or even your national affiliate for Christian music, just any kind of music, because it's just as good as the pop music they give you, except it gives you a great feeling at the end. My recommendation personally is K-Love, but you guys go find your own. Uh, that was a side note to what we're going to talk about here because I have to keep bringing the light and God into this because this is just so evil. I don't even want to imagine some of these things. But we have to examine them for the sake of posterity and making sure that we save other future generations from this kind of evil. Now, what is being said here? Well, here are the pictures that I could find just randomly of John Legend and Hillary Clinton. Here you see them at a bunch of events together. You see her kind of caressing his head there, and they're posing with the families, and here's them from a long time ago, and they're just really buddy from what I can see right here. And then the next thing Q says is with Haiti. Well, we know um, we know here that John Legend was involved in this Hope for Haiti Now. It was a benefit for Haiti after the earthquakes where they raised, I think, a little over $60 million. And it was hosted, I think, in part or sponsored or somehow affiliated with Hillary Clinton. You can see she's pictured here and in all these pictures doing the John Legend Sings Motherless Child on Hope for Haiti Now telethon. And these are the pictures that matter, I think. These are the things we need to draw attention to. Now, going into what it all means. Well, how is this all connected to Hillary? And well, first of all, the Satanism. How does that all connect? Well, obviously, it's no secret here that you actually have, let me pull this up here, John Legend. It's called John Legend's Heaven, and I think it was hosted by Marina Abramovich, the famous Satanist, spirit cooker, I should say, excuse me, the famous spirit cooker, who they're hosting together here this $100,000 table fundraiser for something, and they call it Heaven. The things they do, the symbolism they use, it's all completely sacrilegious, and that's the way they perform and they do it, and it's just the way they get together, and that's how they roll. And then Marching into Darkness, the lyrics, this one was interesting. You look up Marching in the Darkness lyrics. Here's the first verse. It says, "What can you buy with the ultimate sacrifice if you don't believe in the afterlife? Oh, I still grieve, remembering what you were like. Now, what good is a dream when the dreamer dies?" Well, that in and of itself is incredibly, I think, cryptic. I think it's alluding to the fact that, what can you buy with the ultimate sacrifice? Well, when you give your soul to Satan, that would be the ultimate sacrifice. And if you don't believe in heaven or hell, then why would you care that you sell your soul out to the devil here on earth, right? And then speaking about how he grieves about remembering what you were like, I mean, could he be looking in a mirror talking about himself or talking about his significant other, or could they be talking about Clinton? Who knows? But it says, now what good is a dream when the dreamer dies? Well, that's fairly straightforward. I mean, if it's talking to a mirror and it's some sort of self-reflection that he's doing in this song, then he's coming to the conclusion that what good is having a dream now? He had a dream, that's why he sold his soul to attain his dream, but then what good is the dream when you die in the process of gaining it? So that obviously I think is exactly what he's saying. And then this is just another kind of down verse where he's like, and you see here the chorus and everything. Some are better than good, greater than great. Some are misunderstood, and they get told to wait by all of the greatest of all, and they are chasing a fading star. Who will be the latest to fall? We're marching in the dark. So is the fading star talking about Hillary? Is, her fall, what they're marching into the darkness? That's just my interpretation off the bat, reading these lyrics. And then going to the next one, it says, and what if your life was just in the day-to-day, and after you're gone, the world stays the same? Why should you love what you're going to lose anyway? Oh, I've imagined 100 ways. And then it goes in the chorus again. Well, that would be quite a nihilistic, kind of Aleister Crowley type thing to say. It's, who cares about when you're gone, because the world's going to be the same, and why should you love when you're going to lose everything anyway? That's the whole point. The point is embracing God's love and sharing it with others, because what other point to life is there? If you live without that, then you're leading a meaningless life. And if you're leading a meaningless life, then there is no point to life. So it's a self-defeating prophecy that these people tend to sign on to. And that's what it is. The devil wants to keep you down. He wants to keep you hopeless. He wants to keep you unable to understand that your life is worth so much more than any other's life. And, not that you're better than anyone else, but that your life's special and everyone's life is special. And if we can't see that, then we have to really do our best to understand that for ourselves every single day, using God as our, compass to figure out life. But that is exactly what we're talking about there. And you're talking about following the stars, and it's everywhere. The darkness is everywhere, I think. And whatever's going on with this kid, it's really sick. Referenced by the AN0N there, saying it's a moon child. And I did a little quick ancillary research, and I just found out this weird thing talking about how the moon child is a way to demonize a fetus, I guess. And I don't know if this is true or not. I mean, for me, I believe in God, so I have to believe that Satan exists and that evil exists, because that would be a paradox otherwise. So this is, though, something that's very interesting. It's all about Aleister Crowley and the connection with their belief in making moon children by getting really big, bad demons and putting them in kids. The concept of reincarnation was something that they believed in. This is just one of those articles. I will scroll down, and I'll take a couple pauses here. If you guys want to come here and read it, you guys can just pause the video and read it if you want. But it ultimately talks about how there's a sacrificial ritual that they do, and where they surround a mother of a baby at birth, and it's just all types of nasty, evil stuff that we're not going to get into here. So if you guys want to research that more, please do, by all means. Now, and that's really unfortunate, and I pray that those people find a better way than what they're doing, if that's what they're doing. But going into the next post here, it's an AN0N posting. Sarah Carter, I think it's her tweeting, and it says that breaking news, Strzok and Page text messages have been delivered to Congress on #Hannity Radio now. Q replies, important to note, texts only. R equals renegade, not RR. Q. So what I'm thinking is, first of all, renegade is President Obama's code name for the Secret Service. That's what they would call him, just like, they would say the eagle has landed if some other president came. He was codenamed Renegade, which is a completely fitting name for what he has turned out to be, a renegade of the American people, a renegade to the American people, in my opinion. But this is going to be really important, I think. So what's going to happen, I believe, in my opinion, is that these texts are going to come out. Now, Q's obviously called for it before to be the unredacted version only. But if we get the unredacted version, will there be references to somebody named R in the text messages? And then can we put together things based on that? And Q's going to get into it here in a minute, talking about the importance of the lost emails as well. Okay? Nobody talks about the emails. All we've talked about is the text, but they've lost a lot of other communications as well. So, and I'm not talking about the FBI, I'm talking about the Hillary Clinton Foundation, or the Clinton Foundation with the Obama administration and their emails and the 33,000 that disappeared from her private servers. So, next post. So, the next one is posting. He says, reread precursor. They are buying time. National crisis. Some top eyes on first are calling for immediate arrests. Cooperating. Still have access. Controlled. Kept at top. Chair plus. National security issue. POTUS. Reveal Gmail draft communications. Who had access? Legal cases building. You have a voice. Be heard. Patience isn't always easy, but vital to get it right. Q. This is talking about a lot here. All stuff that's incredibly important to cover. Okay, so let's break this down really quickly. Rereading what Q posted about precursor, that would be referring back here to the post we had just a few days ago, where an AN0N post, a screenshot from Sarah Carter's Twitter, talking about how the DOJ will make the 6 months of missing texts that were eventually located by the Inspector General between Strzok and Page available to Congress sometime tonight or tomorrow. The AN0N post, incoming Moab, mother of all bombs, duck and cover. Q responds, red carpet event tonight, state dinner, what will the text reveal, Moab or precursor? Q. So red carpet event was the state dinner between the French president, Macron, and President Trump, and it was the state dinner. And it's saying, what will the text reveal? So there's going to be information being revealed, but it's a precursor. It's not the Moab. The Moab is something completely different. What is the Moab? The Moab is the national crisis that's going to be developed when the people who are the top eyes that are now calling for an immediate arrest, the top people to see this, that's going to be the crisis. And that's going to be the Moab, the mother of all bombs that's dropped here. But they're keeping at the top. It's the chairman plus maybe a few others. But this is the national security issue. And why? Why is this a national security issue? Quite simply put, this is a national security issue because Renegade, Obama, Hussein, was using what you would consider it to be a dead drop email account. So imagine a Gmail account, right? But you don't send emails through it, if that makes sense. What you do is, if I'm working with you, we share a password. So we create an account on Gmail, right? And we call it, I don't know, Obama Oprah 2020, which would be, or actually Oprah Obama, or however they're going to stack that ticket. But all kidding aside, I create that account and I make a password and I give you the password. And then I go into that account and I write an email. But instead of sending that email, I save it in the drafts folder. So it never gets transmitted basically over the internet. Then you, using your password, log into the same account and access the draft, read the draft, and you could even write your own draft back. If that makes sense. So what they're talking about is that the President of the United States was engaged in the previous one before Trump, was engaged in some really nefarious and bad activities, allegedly. And that being the case, it's fairly obvious that we, as patriots and people who love our country, have to come together and expose this, because crimes can't go left unpunished. There has to be justice served. There has to be equal application of the law. There has to be certain sets of standards that we all have to live by. Otherwise, we're living in some third world country where, you can just buy your way out of justice. That's not the principles of the America I was brought up in. So they're building the legal cases, though, because there's going to be a lot of interesting people who are going to say. So what they're saying here is with these, the draft emails, secret dead drop, whatever you want to call it, email accounts, they're going to argue, well, Obama never had access. You're lying. There's no way to prove that Obama went on a laptop and went to Gmail and read the draft and then left his own secret draft that was never transmitted via the internet, but was stored on the cloud somehow, but was picked up by NSA. This is really where it gets very technically difficult from a legal perspective, especially when it comes to prosecution. So you guys have to be aware out there that, as sure as we may be that Obama committed these crimes or that Hillary Clinton committed these crimes, it's all alleged. We don't have any proof. And they're going to, if anybody's going to have the best legal defense, it's going to be them. And there's certain difficulties to proving certain things beyond a reasonable doubt. So just be prepared for that. I think we've just looked at one right here. First, you have the national security issue. Then you have the legal case of trying to definitively prove that somebody was going into a dummy Gmail account and sending messages not via the internet but via the cloud through drafted emails that were stored. But we have to spread this information. Q's telling us we have a voice. We need to be heard. Patience isn't always easy, but vital to get it right. And that's certainly true, but we have a voice. And that's what I do every day. So if you guys want to keep this voice growing and getting bigger and bigger, please continue to support the channel. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. Share these links. Share these videos. Tweet them. Go to my Twitter and share that. Just please, and share it amongst yourselves. Get this information out there. That's all I care about. Now, the next post is Q responding to an AN0N, who in the AN0N post here. Thank you for arriving. Frustration is very high. Can marshals physically remove text, tapes, etc.? And I think what they're talking about is that can the federal marshals go in and either take or tamper with evidence or whatever. Q responds, we have it all. The right people have the information. Good people are acting on the information. Think Google. Think Eric Schmidt departure. Think North Korea. Think many drafts. Many shared users, foreign and domestic. Variable access, codes, fake emails, game forum comms, new intel revealed today, Gmail comms, R, e.g., R is renegade, e.g. is evergreen. Define evergreen. When do you call a plumber? Ongoing investigations require, 5 dots, Q, authorization 478-24ZGP. I still haven't figured out what the authorization code is referring to yet, but I know there's a meaning stuck in there somewhere. Usually there is, unless it's an actual authorization code. So what is this saying? Well, this is saying a lot. And there's so much here that it's just truly incredible to kind of have the opportunity to sit here and examine it. But first, let's just give you an idea of who Evergreen, the Secret Service code name list. This is very important. So Obama was renegade. You can see that right here. So Obama was renegade. It's funny how they were all R's. So maybe they're all Russians, right? Because by the logic that the press uses, you could just put Russian dressing on a salad and become a Russian spy. But Sasha was Rosebud and Malia was Radiance and Renaissance. So I don't know why they were all choosing. I guess they all have to choose a letter and stick with it. Anyway, because it seems like they all have the same letter. So, except for the Bushes. So maybe that's not a thing. Anyway, getting sidetracked here. You see Barack Obama's renegade. And then you see down here, the 2008 runner was Evergreen. Who? Hillary Clinton was Evergreen. Huh. So, that in and of itself is incredibly fascinating to examine. But, and Donald Trump's is mogul. I think that's funny. True, but funny. That's what Q's talking about. And it's fairly obvious when we read through these what they're talking about. That Renegade and Evergreen had secret Gmail communications that will be revealed. Now, others use things like game forums. Now, I'm not into gaming really at that level at all, really. I'm not too much into any kind of virtual reality type games, but they have games, I guess, online. Now, I think everybody's pretty much probably heard of the game World of Warcraft, but what they're saying is that these games could also be used for communication, secret communications. I actually heard one AN0N talking about how you could find some random game. I can't name one for you because I'm not as familiar with it, but you could find some random game in some far out place in the internet where you can actually go into that game, log in, and then you have like a little virtual reality character, and you could go into a virtual reality world, right? A big map, massive virtual existent world where you could go put a chest somewhere randomly in that world, and then you could put a secret message in that chest, and then somebody else logs into the game and they can go over there and find that chest. And it's all basically hidden through the many, many layers of coding and what they have to do to keep the game going, and the servers are always on. So quite simply put, what he's saying here is that there's many different ways that they communicated these illegal or allegedly illegal communications. Now, when do you call a plumber? Well, when you have leaks. Yeah, that's basically where I think about it. And an ongoing investigation requires silence. You can't have leaks. So you have to stop the leaks. You have to stop all the information from coming out, which is part of the Sessions deception, I think, why we need to trust Sessions, it seems like, more and more every day. So this is just fascinating, though. I want to hear what you guys have to contribute down in the comments. But when they're talking about up at the top there, thinking about Google, think Eric Schmidt departure, think North Korea. Fascinating things going on in North Korea today. And is this the Moab? First, you have this message here where they went to the Peace House in North Korea, or in the Korean Peninsula, right on the border there. And Kim Jong-un wrote a message of, quote, "A new history begins now at the starting point of history in the era of peace." And what is this in reference to? Well, an incredible set of events here. You guys will watch this for yourself real quick, but so what you're witnessing there, for those of you who don't know, is the 38th parallel in Korea, a historic line that was drawn upon the ceasing of hostilities during the Korean War, where the Americans decided, the United States, decided to draw the line at the 38th parallel along with North Korea, thereby enacting one of the longest global standoffs in modern history, a 60-plus year standoff between the North and South countries of the Korean Peninsula, one being backed, of course, by the United States and its military, and the other being backed, of course, by a dictatorial regime of Kim Jong-un, as well as minor support or major support, depending on how you look at it, by the Chinese communists. So this is historic. I'm pretty sure a leader of one of the ruling faction, at least, of the North Korean country has never crossed that line. And this has to be the Moab, but I don't see any news coverage. They're talking about it lightly, But I mean, just where is the news coverage? It's really, really frustrating. But that is okay because this is the news. We're reporting it right here, and that's what matters because you guys are here to get it. You guys are here to share it, spread it, make it catch like wildfire because this is a very important story. This could be the biggest story since the fall of the Berlin Wall, yet it's being covered as if it's practically a nothing burger. So we'll see tomorrow what the news cycle brings. They may go with it 24/7, but that is yet to be determined. And you guys let me know what you think about this historic event. But interestingly enough, here's a picture that just came out recently of Mike Pompeo with Kim Jong-un, the coming Secretary of State, pictured here with Kim Jong-un in a private meeting. Now, you tell me if this is the Moab, because to me it is. This is the biggest story since, like I said, the fall of the Berlin Wall, possibly. So please, everybody out there, let me know what you think in the comments. That's pretty much going to cover everything that we have to talk about here. If you have any other contributions about who maybe were the many others who shared the foreign and domestic, was that the special access programs that Hillary sold on her servers to the highest bidder for the Clinton Foundation to get nuclear secrets and other secrets from our government. So you guys give me your thoughts down in the comments. I can't wait. I look forward to reading through each and every one of them. But that's going to be it. If you're looking for a way to contribute and help the channel, the easiest and best way to do it, it helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate when you do it, is if you have not hit the subscribe button, please come here and click that big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, you'll be notified. The second best way is, like I was saying before, go down and comment. Okay? Go down and leave me your thoughts, theories, insights. If you think I got something wrong, if you think I got something right, if you want to just contribute a Bible verse or some words of encouragement or share the blessing that you've gone through, whatever it may be. But like I said, we have our own QAnon research board at the end of each one of these videos. So you got to go down there and get involved if you haven't already. And even if you don't want to comment, just go down and read through the comments. I guarantee you're going to learn something that you did not know before, because what we do is we analyze the posts and we talk about all the different possibilities and talk about other things that are pertinent to this broader conversation. So go down there and help out. Make sure you leave your thoughts. That is certainly would be incredibly appreciated. Also, come over here and find me at Twitter at Justin_Formed if you want to leave me a meme, give me something to repost. I love reposting your contributions. But if you're looking for the best way to help the channel out, definitely come over here to patreon.com. That's patreon.com. You can search Justin Form Talk. You'll come here to this landing page, click this button to become a patron. You can come check out my goals, check out my rewards, and it certainly is a two-way street. You know, you'll get something in return if you donate at certain levels. So definitely come check that out. But I can't do this channel without you guys. So please come here and support me on Patreon so that I can keep this channel going and keep expanding it into other channels. And maybe I'm trying to develop something with a website right now. So we'll have to wait and see how time tells with that. But if you're really interested in following me on other parts of YouTube, I actually just started this new channel and it's really going great. I love all you guys coming over here and showing me some love. But it's called Just Informed News. And you actually can find here, this is a video from Just Informed News that's linked here on my main page at Just Informed Talk. But if you guys could do me a big favor, come over here, check out the content. It's going to be a place where I post little videos that you can share with friends that go over like individual posts and give kind of a pictorial commentary about it, or a pictorial rendition of what's being said in the post so that you can get graphically understand what's going on, all the way to the reposts I'm going to make where I pull clips of Zach, certain important speeches, things the mainstream media news isn't going to cover. But come over here, hit that subscribe button, and join Just Informed News as well. And I promise I'll keep putting content up there regularly, so you guys have that to look forward to. That being said, the most important thing we're going to talk about tonight is God. It's easy, I think, for all of us to forget that prayer is the most powerful weapon that we have in our arsenal. There's nothing, and I have to stress this, there's nothing that life can throw at us that we can't be ultimately prepared to deal with through strong belief in God and prayer. And sometimes we have to pray for God to come into our life and restore us. I mean, just the other day, I was talking about how it touched me that I was able to touch someone else's life. And if I only touch one person in a way that brings them closer to God, then I've succeeded. That's my goal. There's nothing more to it. I'm blessed to be able to do this and bring this information to you, and sometimes it's tough, but overall, it's a pleasure and a complete blessing in my life to be able to give you guys an insight into my interpretation of God's love. And then you can give your interpretation, and we share that, and that's the community that we build, and that's the community in Christ that we want to emphasize in our lives every day. But here's a very powerful prayer, and I'm going to read it in its entirety. It's all of Psalm 51 if you guys want to follow along for yourselves. But we're going to read through this real quick, and I really hope it speaks to you guys out there. Be gracious to me, God, according to your faithful love, according to your abundant compassion. Blot out my rebellion. Wash away my guilt and cleanse me from my sin, for I am conscious of my rebellion, and my sin is always before me. Against you, you alone, I have sinned, and done this evil in your sight. So you are right when you pass sentence. You are blameless when you judge. Indeed, I was guilty. When I was born, I was sinful when my mother conceived me. Surely you desire integrity in the inner self, and you teach me wisdom deep within. Purify my hyssop, and I will be clean. Wash me, and I will be whiter than snow. Let me hear joy and gladness. Let the bones you have crushed rejoice. Turn your face away from my sins and blot out all my guilt. God, create a clean heart for me and renew my steadfast spirit within me. Do not banish me from your presence or take your Holy Spirit from me. Restore the joy of your salvation to me and give me a willing spirit. Then I will teach the rebellious your ways, and sinners will return to you. Save me from the guilt of bloodshed, God, the God of my salvation, and my tongue will sing of your righteousness. Lord, open my lips, and my mouth will declare your praise. You do not want a sacrifice, or I would give it. You are not pleased with a burnt offering. The sacrifice pleasing to God is a broken spirit. God, you will not despise a broken and humbled heart. In your good pleasure, cause Zion to prosper. Build the walls of Jerusalem. Then you will delight in righteous sacrifices, whole burnt offerings. Then bulls will be burned on your altar. Now, wow, it's powerful. The Word of God is powerful. It has a way to open your heart, and I hope that prayer speaks to every one of you individually in its own way and reaffirms your strength in God and reaffirms your belief in His divinity and His power and His glory, and it renews and your desire to seek God's guidance and God's wisdom on a daily basis. Those are my prayers for you. That's what I want. And if you don't take anything else away from this video, please take that away. God absolutely loves you. And you can become that conduit to spread His love out to the world. All you have to do, say prayers, open your heart to God, seek His guidance and wisdom on a daily basis, no matter what situation you're going through, and you will be saved. So, thank you all for watching. I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please come here and hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications if you want to be notified when these videos get posted. Also, show me some love over here on Just Informed News and give me a little subscribe. That would be very helpful, and I will promise to bring you more content over there. But that's going to be it for me. I want to say thank each and every one of you for watching. This has been Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.